Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was an Australian flathead perch named Lachlan. Lachlan the Australian flathead perch lived along a huge reef in the sea. He was a shy little fish, and he preferred staying close to the reef and watching the world go by from a small cave. Every day, Lachlan the Australian flathead perch would make his way through the waters as the sun rays cast down beneath, and he would see all the sea creatures hanging out and just enjoying their day. But Lachlan would stay out of the way, or he was hidden. He was always watching all the other sea creatures playing from afar, secretly wanting to join in on the fun with everyone, but a little hesitant to actually go up to them and hang out. One day, a manta ray and a crab were passing by Lachlan the Australian flathead perch's little hiding spot, and they stopped because they noticed him just watching all the other sea creatures from afar. But Lachlan didn't notice them getting close to him. He was just busy staring off at all the creatures. So as Lachlan, the Australian flathead perch, was looking at all of the creatures having fun and enjoying their day, the manta ray and crab slowly came up behind Lachlan, trying to see what he was looking at. And as the crab and manta ray were trying to figure out what Lachlan was looking at, the manta ray said to him, "Hi, what you looking at?" Lachlan the Australian flathead perch was startled and turned around and said to them, "Oh, hi, hey, I'm just looking at all the creatures out there." The crab said to Lachlan, "What are you doing all the way out here? Why don't you just join everyone?" Lachlan the Australian flathead perch said to them, "It's fine. I just like watching all the action from here anyway." The manta ray said, "But you look like you kind of want to go out and have fun with them." Lachlan said, "Yeah, I do, but I'll just get in the way." The manta ray replied, "No, you won't. I don't think you'll get in the way." Lachlan then said, "Thanks, but I think I'm fine. I'll just hang out here by myself." Then the crab asked, "Well, can we hang out with you?" The manta ray said, "Yeah, we'll play with you." Lachlan did want to join them and play really bad, but he had his own concerns. What if he messes up and makes a mistake? What if he wasn't good enough and couldn't keep up with everyone? What if the others don't want to play the same thing he wants to play? Lachlan said, "It's getting late, thanks, but I have to get going. Bye." And he swam off. The manta ray and crab looked at each other, wondering why the Australian flathead perch had to leave so quickly. So they left him and went off to play. On another day, a mackerel swam by Lachlan's little hiding spot, and it too stopped and asked if Lachlan the Australian flathead perch wanted to play. The mackerel asked, "Hey, do you want to play?" Lachlan, really wanting to play, but concerned again about all the things that could go wrong, said to the mackerel, "Thanks, but I'm just gonna stay here." "Okay," said the mackerel, and it swam away. Lachlan let his shyness get to him again, and he was watching all the creatures playing together and having fun by himself again. He could hear all the laughter coming through the reef and echoing throughout the sea. He really wanted to play and join in all the fun, but he didn't know how to get past his shyness. It seemed as if Lachlan would be watching the whole world go by from the sidelines unless he did something about his shyness. Then, One day, a wise old sea urchin came by and said to Lachlan the Australian flathead perch, "Why are you hiding, young one?" Lachlan hesitated. He was unsure of how to talk about his concerns, but somehow he felt comfortable around the sea urchin and he was ready to talk. He said to the sea urchin, "You know, I do want to play with the others, but I get really shy. And I think about it too much. I try to go, but I always end up coming back here by myself and watch everyone play." Then the sea urchin said, "Sometimes the hardest things are the most rewarding. You're gonna have to take a chance every now and then, or you'll never know what you'll be missing out on." And then the old sea urchin swam away. Lachlan thought about the old sea urchin's words. He knew he had to just go and do it. He was tired of just hanging out by himself while all the other creatures were playing around. "Look at me," said Lachlan to himself. "I'm just stuck here by myself, doing nothing. And it's so boring. I'm gonna go over to the sea creatures over there and introduce myself and ask if I can play with them." Filled with new hope and ready to finally stop being by himself all the time, Lachlan the Australian flathead perch went toward the sea creatures and was able to swim out of his comfort zone. And with a new outlook on life, Lachlan swam out from his hiding spot, kind of nervous, but also kind of excited. And as he got closer to all the other sea creatures, they were all filled with curiosity. Some of them have seen Lachlan from far away, but they never seen him up close. And as Lachlan swam into the area where all the other sea creatures were hanging out, everything became quiet for a moment, and Lachlan could feel eyes all looking towards him. And then, the mackerel from earlier swam up to Lachlan the Australian flathead perch and asked him, "Would you like to play with us, Lachlan?" Lachlan hesitated. His mind was racing with concerns and his thoughts, but then he remembered the words of the old sea urchin, and he shook off his nerves, and he pushed aside all of his worries, and he said to the mackerel, "Yes," with his voice trembling but filled with excitement. "I would love to play." And all the sea creatures started playing with Lachlan. And Lachlan, the Australian flathead perch, found himself laughing and swimming alongside his new friends. All his worries and his concerns melted away with each passing moment. And Lachlan then realized that he had nothing to worry about in the first place. He now knew that he didn't have to be perfect to be accepted by others, and that sometimes it was good enough just to be himself. And the Australian flathead perch lived happily ever after. The end. The Australian flathead perch is also known as flathead fish, Rainfordia opercularis, or Rainford's perch. The Australian flathead perch is a saltwater fish and is generally dark orange with white or lavender horizontal stripes along each side. They have a slender body and their head is flattened into a triangular point. Some say they look like a wooden pencil when you look at them from the side. They are related to bony fish and can grow to a length of 5 centimeters. The largest ever recorded reached up to 15 centimeters. That's almost 6 inches. Not much was known about the Australian flathead perch due to their shy nature. The Australian flathead perch can be found around coral reefs and shallow bays in Australia. The Australian flathead perch eats whatever can fit into their mouths, like shrimp, plankton, and copepods. The Australian flathead perch takes shelter and hide in rocks and small caves. The Australian flathead perch can range from $1,000 to $8,000 just for one. The Australian flathead perch is a single species in its own genus. Have you seen a real-life Australian flathead perch before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.